Have you ever loved someone deeply, only to watch them slowly disappear from your life? Maybe they walked away, maybe they betrayed you, maybe they changed completely, or maybe God removed them suddenly, without explanation, and ever since then, you've been asking, why did this happen? Why did God allow this pain? Why do the people I care about keep leaving, but what if some people leave? Because heaven refused to let them destroy your future. Tonight, you're about to discover the painful truth about why God removes certain people from your life, and why some goodbyes are actually divine protection.
One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everyone sent into your life was meant to stay forever. Some people are temporary assignments. They enter your story for a season, to teach you something, to strengthen you, or sometimes, to reveal wounds you never healed. But humans become emotionally attached quickly. We start believing, this person will always be here. This relationship will last forever. This friendship could never break. And when the separation happens, our hearts break because we confuse temporary people with permanent destiny. But God sees differently. He can see when a relationship has already started damaging your peace. He can see when certain people begin pulling you away from your purpose. He can see hidden jealousy, manipulation, distraction, and emotional destruction, long before you notice it yourself. And because God loves you, He will sometimes remove people you desperately wanted to keep. Not to punish you, but to protect the future He prepared for you. Ecclesiastes says, to everything there is a season. And sometimes, the season ends before your emotions are ready to let go. But heaven knows, what stays too long can destroy what God is trying to build inside you.
Not every relationship helps your spirit grow. Some people drain your energy slowly, some normalize sin, some fill your mind with fear, negativity, confusion, or emotional chaos. And often the most dangerous people are not obvious enemies. They are the ones who smile around you, while secretly weakening your confidence, your faith, and your peace. Because darkness does not always attack loudly. Sometimes it enters quietly through unhealthy relationships. And this is why God sometimes removes people suddenly. One unexpected argument, one painful betrayal, one shocking goodbye, and suddenly the relationship ends. Humans call it heartbreak, but heaven may call it rescue, because God understands something humans forget. You cannot grow spiritually while constantly surrounded by people destroying your peace emotionally. Many people pray, God, change my life. But when God starts removing toxic people, they beg Him to bring them back. They do not realize, the same people they are crying over may have been blocking the next season of their life. Sometimes God removes people because your destiny cannot survive their presence. Rejection hurts deeply, especially when you gave your love, your loyalty, your time, and your trust. Sometimes people leave without explanation. Sometimes they betray you unexpectedly. Sometimes they choose someone else. And sometimes they simply stop caring. And in those moments, humans naturally ask, why wasn't I enough? But maybe the real question is, why was God protecting me from something I could not see yet? Because heaven sees conversations you never heard, intentions you never noticed, future pain you never imagined. And many times, God blocks relationships because He sees the destruction hidden behind them. Humans cry over closed doors, but heaven sees disasters avoided. There are relationships that would have destroyed your confidence, destroyed your purpose, destroyed your peace, destroyed your relationship with God. And one day many people realize, the rejection they cried over was actually one of the greatest acts of protection God ever gave them. Because sometimes, God removes people quietly before they destroy you completely. One reason separation feels so painful is because loneliness forces you to face yourself. Distractions disappear, comfort disappears, certain people disappear, and suddenly you are left alone with your thoughts, your wounds, your fears, and your relationship with God. But what if loneliness is not punishment? What if isolation is where God rebuilds broken people? The Bible is filled with lonely seasons. Moses in the wilderness, David hiding in caves, Jesus praying alone at night. Because before God elevates people publicly, He often transforms them privately. And sometimes the people God removed from your life were distractions preventing your spiritual growth. Loneliness feels painful at first, but eventually it teaches you something powerful. Peace does not come from human approval, it comes from God. And maybe this season of separation is not destroying you. Maybe heaven is finally rebuilding your identity. Humans see present emotions. God sees future consequences. And there are moments when God removes people because staying connected to them would lead your life in the wrong direction. Sometimes relationships become emotional chains. They stop your growth, delay your purpose, destroy your confidence, drain your spirit. But during the separation you cannot see what heaven sees. You only feel pain, and pain creates confusion. This is why many people resist God's redirection at first, because humans naturally fight to keep what feels familiar, even when it is unhealthy. But eventually many people look back years later and realize, if God had not removed them, my entire future would have collapsed. The person you lost may have been standing between you and your destiny. And sometimes, the most loving thing God can do is remove what no longer belongs in your life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is constantly chasing what heaven already removed. They keep reopening old wounds, revisiting old relationships, replaying old memories. Why? Because humans fear letting go. But healing truly begins when you finally trust God enough to release the past. Not every goodbye deserves another chance. Not every broken relationship needs restoration. Sometimes closure is the miracle. Sometimes distance is the answer to your prayer. And when you stop chasing what God removed, you finally create space for peace to enter your life again. Because God cannot fill hands that refuse to release the past. And maybe tonight, God is asking you to stop begging for doors He already closed. So tonight, if someone left your life, if a relationship broke your heart, if rejection still hurts deeply, do not assume God abandoned you. Sometimes heaven removes people because your future is too important to be destroyed by the wrong connections. And one day what feels painful now may finally make sense. Until then, keep trusting God. Keep protecting your peace. Keep walking forward. Because some goodbyes are actually divine protection.